Tired of the same old marigolds and petunias that everyone else is growing? Want to create a garden that stops neighbors in their tracks and has them asking, "What in the world is that beautiful plant?" If you're ready to break free from conventional gardening and embrace the extraordinary, you've come to the right place. Today we're diving into 5 absolutely fascinating plants that not only survive July's scorching heat but actually thrive in it, turning your garden into a conversation starter while delivering practical benefits that will make you wonder why you didn't discover them sooner. These aren't your grandmother's garden varieties, but they're plants that seasoned gardeners swear by once they discover their unique charm. Each of these unusual specimens brings something special to the table. Stunning visual appeal, incredible heat tolerance, pollinator magnetism, and even natural pest-deterring properties. The best part? They're surprisingly easy to grow once you understand their quirky personalities. Let's start with a plant that's both ornamental and edible. A true multitasker that deserves a starring role in your July garden. The scarlet runner bean might sound ordinary, but once you see its brilliant red flowers cascading down a trellis or fence, you'll understand why European gardeners have treasured this plant for centuries. This vigorous climber can reach heights of 10 to 12 feet in a single season, creating a living wall of emerald foliage punctuated by clusters of bright scarlet blooms that look more like exotic orchids than humble bean flowers. What makes this plant particularly fascinating is its dual nature. While you're admiring its ornamental beauty, it's simultaneously producing tender edible beans that taste remarkably similar to lima beans but with a nuttier flavor profile. The young pods can be harvested and cooked like green beans, while mature beans can be dried and stored for winter soups and stews. This productivity in July's heat is remarkable, as most bean varieties struggle when temperatures soar above 85 degrees Fahrenheit. The scarlet runner bean's secret weapon against July's intensity lies in its deep root system and large leaves that create their own cooling microclimate. Unlike common beans that wilt and stop producing in extreme heat, this variety actually increases its flowering when temperatures rise, making it the perfect choice for gardeners dealing with increasingly hot summers. Plant it near a sturdy support structure, provide consistent moisture, and watch as it transforms a boring fence or trellis into a vertical garden that produces both beauty and food throughout the summer months. If you've ever wished your garden had more texture and staying power, Globe Amaranth will become your new obsession. This compact annual produces perfectly round, papery flower heads that look like they were crafted by nature's most skilled artisan. Available in vibrant purples, magentas, whites, and even bicolor varieties, these globe-shaped blooms maintain their intensity even when temperatures climb well into the 90s. What sets Globe Amaranth apart from typical summer flowers is its incredible heat and drought tolerance combined with its unique texture that adds dimension to any garden bed. The flowers feel almost synthetic to the touch, with a papery quality that makes them excellent for both fresh arrangements and dried flower crafts. This unusual texture creates stunning contrast when planted alongside soft, feathery plants or broad-leafed companions. The plant itself grows in a neat, compact mound typically reaching 12 to 24 inches tall, making it perfect for borders, containers, or mass plantings. Unlike many flowers that become leggy and unattractive in July heat, Globe Amaranth maintains its tidy appearance while continuously producing new blooms. The secret to its success lies in its origins in the hot, dry regions of Central and South America, where it evolved to thrive in conditions that would stress most garden plants. Once established, it requires minimal water and actually performs better with some neglect, making it ideal for busy gardeners or those dealing with water restrictions. Prepare to be amazed by a plant that's simultaneously a culinary herb, natural pest deterrent, and pollinator magnet, all rolled into one unassuming package. Lemon balm might look like an ordinary member of the mint family, but its powers extend far beyond its modest appearance. When you brush against its serrated leaves, they release an intoxicating lemon fragrance that's more intense and complex than any artificially scented product you've ever encountered. This perennial herb thrives in July's heat while most other herbs are struggling or going to seed. The secret lies in its Mediterranean origins and its ability to adapt its growth pattern to seasonal conditions. During the hottest parts of summer, lemon balm develops deeper roots and produces oils that actually intensify in concentration as temperatures rise, meaning your July harvest will be more potent and flavorful than spring cuttings. Beyond its culinary applications in teas, salads, and desserts, lemon balm serves as a natural pest control system in your garden. Mosquitoes, ants, and even mice find its scent offensive and will avoid areas where it's planted. Meanwhile, beneficial insects like bees and butterflies are drawn to its small white flowers that bloom continuously throughout the summer. The plant's vigorous growth habit means you can harvest regularly without compromising its health, and it will readily self-seed if you allow some flowers to go to seed, ensuring a sustainable supply for years to come. Before you dismiss this suggestion as too exotic for your garden, consider that prickly pear cactus is actually native to many parts of North America and thrives in climates from the desert southwest to surprisingly cold northern regions. This paddle-shaped succulent brings an architectural element to your garden that's impossible to achieve with traditional plants, while its ability to flourish in July's most punishing conditions makes it a valuable addition to any heat-stressed landscape. The flat, segmented pads create dramatic silhouettes that look stunning when backlit by morning or evening sun, and the contrast they provide against traditional flowering plants creates garden vignettes that photographers and garden visitors find irresistible. When mature plants bloom, typically in late spring through summer, they produce large, showy flowers in brilliant yellows, oranges, or magentas that attract native pollinators and add unexpected color to the succulent display. So, what makes prickly pear particularly valuable in July gardening is its water storage capacity and heat-reflecting properties. The thick pads, store moisture during cooler periods and gradually release it during those hot spells, while their waxy surface reflects intense sunlight rather than absorbing it. This means they actually help cool the surrounding soil and create microclimates that benefit neighboring plants. Additionally, many varieties produce edible fruits called tunas that ripen in late summer, adding another layer of interest and functionality to your garden design. Our final unusual selection brings tropical elegance to temperate gardens with its stunning purple stems, heart-shaped leaves, and cascades of fragrant flowers in shades of purple and white. Hyacinth bean, also known as lablab bean, is a vigorous annual vine that can climb 10 to 15 feet in a single season, creating living screens and vertical gardens that remain beautiful even during July's most challenging weather. The plant's ornamental appeal comes from its complete color coordination. The stems are deep purple, the leaves have purple undersides and veining, the flowers bloom in purple and white clusters, and even the developing seed pods are glossy purple, creating a cohesive color story that's honestly pretty rare in the plant world. This purple theme intensifies in heat, meaning your July garden will showcase the plant at its most dramatic. Beyond its striking appearance, hyacinth bean offers practical benefits that make it valuable for functional garden design. Its dense foliage provides excellent screening for unsightly areas or privacy barriers, while its rapid growth makes it perfect for quickly covering pergolas, arbors, or fences. The plant's heat tolerance comes from its tropical origins, where it evolved to handle intense sun and humidity, while maintaining vigorous growth and continuous flowering. What unites all these unusual plants is their remarkable ability to not just survive, but actually improve their performance as temperatures rise. Unlike traditional garden plants that struggle, wilt, or stop flowering when mercury climbs above 85 degrees, these heat-loving specimens have evolved specific adaptations that allow them to excel in challenging conditions. These adaptations include deep root systems that access moisture unavailable to shallow-rooted plants, waxy or fuzzy leaf surfaces that reflect intense sunlight, and metabolic processes that actually become more efficient at higher temperatures. Understanding these natural strategies helps us appreciate why these plants succeed where others fail, and, kind of guides us in providing the conditions they need to reach their full potential. The key to success with heat-loving unusual plants, honestly, lies in working with their natural preferences rather than against them. This means, providing excellent drainage to prevent root rot, positioning them in locations where they receive morning sun, but some afternoon protection, and avoiding the temptation to overwater plants that are adapted to periodic drought conditions. One of the most rewarding aspects of growing unusual plants is, witnessing the diverse array of pollinators they attract to your garden. These plants have co-evolved with specific insects and other creatures, creating relationships that benefit both the plants and the visiting wildlife, while adding dynamic movement and life to your garden space. Scarlet runner bean flowers are particularly attractive to hummingbirds, whose long beaks are perfectly adapted to reach the nectar hidden deep within the red blooms. Globe amaranth draws butterflies and beneficial wasps, while lemon balm's small flowers provide accessible nectar sources for smaller beneficial insects like hoverflies and tiny native bees. Prickly pear blooms attract specialized desert pollinators and native bees, while hyacinth bean's fragrant flowers draw evening pollinators, including moths and bats in regions where they're present. This diversity of pollinator relationships creates a more resilient garden ecosystem while providing endless opportunities for observation and photography. The presence of these beneficial insects also means improved pollination for nearby vegetable crops and better natural pest control as predatory insects establish hunting territories in your garden. Success with these remarkable plants begins with understanding that unusual doesn't mean difficult. Each of these varieties has specific preferences, but once you understand their needs, they're often easier to grow than traditional garden plants because they're adapted to challenging conditions rather than requiring perfect circumstances. Start by preparing well-draining soil, as most heat-tolerant plants are also adapted to periods of drought and can be damaged by waterlogged conditions. This doesn't mean poor soil, rather, it means soil that drains freely while still providing adequate nutrition. Adding compost or aged manure improves both drainage and fertility, while creating the slightly alkaline conditions that many heat-loving plants prefer. Timing your planting is crucial for success. While these plants thrive in heat, they establish better when planted after soil has warmed, but before the most intense heat arrives. In most regions, this means late spring planting with careful attention to consistent moisture during the establishment period. Once established, these plants typically require less maintenance than traditional garden varieties. This counterintuitive aspect of unusual plant gardening often surprises newcomers who expect exotic-looking plants to be high maintenance. In reality, plants adapted to challenging natural conditions are often more forgiving of occasional neglect than pampered garden hybrids. Ready to transform your July garden into a conversation-starting masterpiece that thrives while your neighbor's gardens struggle? These 5 unusual plants are just the beginning of your journey into heat-loving gardening success. If this guide has inspired you to think differently about summer gardening, make sure to subscribe to Smart Garden for more innovative gardening strategies and plant discoveries that will keep your garden thriving all season long. Share this guide with fellow gardeners who are ready to embrace the extraordinary, and let us know in the comments which unusual plant you're most excited to try first.